Everyone, welcome back. My name's Kendra. Today's yoga video is yoga to help you build strength. So we'll use strictly our own body weight, go through longer holds, slower movements to really feel all the muscles engage. We'll begin to feel and think about our mind-muscle connection and then end with a very nice cool down. So whenever you're ready, let's get started. Alrighty, my friends, let's start in a comfortable standing position. Come towards the top of your mat. Let the feet be hip-width apart. Close the eyes or soften the gaze. And then feel all 10 toes grounding on your mat. Start to feel a lengthening in your spine, crown of the head, moving up towards the ceiling. Soften your shoulders out and down. Slightly draw the navel in. Giving yourself a second to drop into your body, bringing your complete attention onto your mat. Deepening the breath, allowing the inhalation and exhalation to become deep and full. And carrying this deep, full breath throughout your entire practice today. So even when we start to work in our bodies, you're still breathing deep and full. Keep grounding into the feet. Inhale, carry the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinging from the hips, let the torso lengthen forward over the legs. Arms dangle down towards the floor. Keep a soft bend in the knees, torso lengthening over the legs. Soften the back of the neck, soften the arms. You could even find movement here, taking a second to sway the hips from left to right. Pausing at center, ground into the feet. Place the hands onto the hips with a nice long spine. Inhale, carry yourself back up into standing. Good. Exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, arms back up. Reach up. Exhale, lengthen forward. Bend the knees this time as much as you have to so you can ground the hands onto the mat. Step your right foot back and then step your left foot back. So finding our first plank, the legs are either straight or if you need to, feel free to come down onto the knees. Challenging yourself with awareness. Find what you need today. Sometimes we need a little bit more of a challenge. Sometimes we don't. Honor however you're showing up today. While we're in plank, breathing deep and full, draw the navel in, shoulders drawing out and down. Feel the shoulder blades gliding down your back. Keep the gaze looking down towards the floor, back of the neck nice and long. Hips level. 2 more breaths. Exhale, slowly pike your hips, find your downward dog. Sit bones move up towards the ceiling, feet are hip-width apart. You can pedal the feet, so releasing one heel and lifting the other, going back and forth. Good. Pausing with the heels rerouting down towards the floor, top of the chest moving towards the top of your thighs. Feel all 10 fingers grounding onto the mat, especially the pointer finger and the thumb. Soften the back of the neck once again. And don't feel like, I've said this in previous videos, but don't feel like you have to have the heels grounding on the floor. If they don't make it there, that's completely fine. Keep a small bend in the knees if the calves and the hamstrings are feeling tight. And you can keep the heels lifted. Find your position. It's your practice. One more deep, full breath. Inhale, lift the heels really far away from the floor, come up onto the balls of the toes. Slowly begin to round the spine and then move the weight forward into the hands. Come back into your plank. Inhale, lift the right toes off the mat. Engage the right glute, press back through the left heel. Keep the hips level. Exhale, ground the right foot onto the mat. Inhale, lift the left toes off of the floor, engaging the left glute. Keep breathing. Exhale, ground the left toes onto the mat. Nice and slow, step that right foot forward in between the hands. Grounding into the right foot, pressing back through the left heel. Inhale, carry the torso all the way up. Carry the arms up overhead. Pressing back through the left heel. Bending into the right knee. Find your balance, soften the shoulders. Exhale, take the left arm forward, right arm back, twisting towards the right. Inhale, carry the arms back up towards the ceiling. Bring the torso back through center. One more deep, full breath. You should start to feel the body working here. Exhale, ground the hands onto the floor. Step the right foot back to meet the left. Once again, we're in our plank. 2 breaths here. Exhale, pike your hips, downward dog. Maybe you pedal the feet here or you find stillness right away. Make any small adjustments that your body might need. Keep breathing deep and full. Inhale, look in between the hands, step the left foot forward. Bending into the left knee stacked on top of the ankle, ground into the right toes and press back through the right heel. On your next inhale, carry the torso up, arms come back up overhead. Keep grounding into the legs and then notice the upper body. You can soften the arms, soften the neck. Notice what muscles you have to engage to keep you here, and then notice what muscles you can soften. Exhale, twisting the torso towards the left. Take the right arm forward, left arm back. Good. 2 more breaths. Inhale back through center, carry the arms up overhead, reach up. Exhale, ground the hands onto the floor. Step your left foot back to meet the right. Exhale, bend the knees, releasing the knees onto the mat. Untuck your toes. Press the sit bones back towards the heels. Forehead rests onto the floor. Take a second in your child's pose. Breathing deep and full. Soften the body. Inhale, come back up onto the hands and knees. So in our tabletop position, allow the knees to be stacked underneath the hips. Knees are hip width apart. Grounding into the palms. The palms can be either directly underneath the shoulders, or if you feel like your wrists need a little bit more opening, you can always take the palms slightly forward of the shoulders, and then that will keep the wrists open. Drawing the navel in, hips are level. As you inhale, extend the right leg out behind you. Pressing back through the right heel. All 5 toes of the right foot are pointing down towards the floor. You could stay right here or option to ground deeply into the right hand. Gather your strength as you extend the left arm forward. Drawing the left shoulder out and down so you have space in between the left ear, left arm. Keep reaching the left fingertips forward, pressing the right heel back. Feel the back body engage. Keep drawing the navel in. Right glute is engaged. Finding your balance, breathing deeply. See if you can reach a little bit farther. One more breath. Exhale, ground the left hand, ground the right knee onto the floor. Take a second to sway the hips from left to right. Pausing at center. Inhale, extend the left leg out behind you. Start to find your position on this side. Flex the left foot, all 5 toes pointing down towards the floor. Engaging the left glute. Maybe you stay right here or ground into the left hand and extend the right arm forward. Now this can be as hard as you want it or as easy as you want it. If you want to make it harder, feel all of the muscles engaging. Start to notice your body working. The more mind-muscle connection that we have, the more we can start to really engage the muscles and make it harder. Keep reaching the right fingertips forward, left heel back, draw the navel in, engage the core. Couple more breaths. Good. Exhale, ground the right hand onto the mat, ground the left knee. Sway the hips from left to right. Good. Tucking your toes, grounding into the hands, grounding into the toes. Lift the knees a couple inches off of the floor. Straighten the right leg back, straighten the left leg back, grounding the toes. We're in our plank. So option to be on the knees. Find a position where you're working but you're breathing deep and full. Inhale fully. Exhale, bend the elbows, pause halfway. Good, drawing the navel in, shoulders out and down. Inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, bend the elbows, pause halfway. Inhale, up. One more time. Exhale, bend the elbows, pause halfway, entire body engaged. Good, and then release all the way down, front body onto the floor. Rest the right ear onto the mat. Keep the elbows bent. Sway the legs from left to right, bending at the knees. Place the left ear onto the floor. Keep swaying the legs from left to right. Good. Exhale. Release the legs onto the floor. Ground the forehead onto the mat. Straighten the arms down towards your torso. Ground the palms onto the floor. Now take a second to feel the pelvis. Ground the front of the pelvis onto the floor, drawing the navel in. Shoulders are drawing out and down, so the front of the shoulders are moving away from the floor. Inhale fully and extend the right leg out behind you. Right leg is airborne. Point the toes of the right foot. Inhale, lift the left leg to meet the right. Both legs lifted. Maybe you stay right here, or as you inhale, gather your strength, lift the forehead and the chest off the mat. And then you could even lift the palms. Couple breaths here. Keep lifting the arms and the legs. Drawing the navel in. The entire back body is working here. Take 2 more breaths. Stay lifted. You got it. Exhale, release everything down. Very carefully and slowly roll onto your back. And when you get there, hug your knees in towards the chest. Maybe you rock from left to right, giving the low back a nice little massage. Exhale, ground the feet onto the mat. Lengthen the arms down towards your torso. Ground the palms onto the mat. Feet are hip width apart. Now feel the big toe, baby toe, and heel of both feet grounding on the floor. And imagine that you had a block in between the inner thighs. Squeeze that imaginary block. Good. The feet are hip width apart. Heels are a little bit closer towards the glutes, so you may need to walk them in. Drawing the belly button in towards the spine. Ground the hands onto the floor, shoulder blades onto the floor. And as you inhale, press into the heels, lift the sit bones off of the floor, lift the low back, mid back, coming up into your bridge pose. Keep space in between the top of the chest and the chin. Squeezing the imaginary block in between the thighs so your inner thighs are engaged. Keep pressing through the heels, engaging your glutes. Now again, really notice what muscles are engaging to keep you holded up here. What do you have to engage to keep you in this position? And then on the opposite hand of that, what can you let go of that you don't need to be holding on to? Maybe you need to soften the jaw, soften the forehead. Breathe deep and full. Couple more breaths here. Feel the body working. You can stay right here or ground into the left foot. Inhale, extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. Keep the hips lifted. Exhale, ground the right foot. Grounding into the right leg. Inhale, extend the left leg, opposite side. Exhale, ground the feet onto the mat. Now slower than you want to, really, really slow, begin to release the back body onto the floor. When you get there, hug your knees once again in towards the chest. Breathing deeply through the stomach here. If it feels okay for the back of the neck, as you exhale, lift the back of the head and the shoulder blades off of the mat, moving the forehead towards the knees, making yourself into a tiny little ball. Exhale, release everything down, ground the feet onto the mat, knees are bent. Turn the palms to face the ceiling, open up the knees a little bit wider than hip width apart, and sway the legs from left to right. Bring the knees back through center. Take the soles of the feet together, slowly opening up the knees nice and wide. If you feel like you need some support in this position, you can always take some pillows on the outsides of the thighs, or if you have blocks, you can take blocks there. The heels can be a little bit farther away from the front of the pelvis if you feel like you're having any strain in the knees. Maybe you close the eyes here or soften the gaze. Breathing deep and full. Placing the hands on the outer edges of the thighs. Inhale, help yourself bring the inner thighs back together. Ground the feet onto the floor. And like always, take as much time as you need here. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.